Now let's discuss how is your speaking scored. So for each task you receive from 0 to 4 points. If you completely fail your speaking task, you receive a 0, and then if you did it really well, you receive a 4. So you receive from 0 to 24 total. After they count your score, they then convert it using this table. So in the end, you'll receive from 0 to 30 points. So in order to convert your score, they find an average, arithmetic mean, and then they see, so for example, in average, you received 4 for every of your task, then you receive a 30 for your total speaking section. So of course you don't have to memorize any of that, it's just for your information. But what we need to pay attention to is the scoring standard. So what is an ideal answer to the speaking task? First, let's discuss questions number 1 and 2. So those where you don't need to do anything other than speaking. You don't have to read anything, you don't have to listen to anything. So what are some characteristics of the ideal answer? And this is just copied from the official guidance. First, the ideal answer fulfills the demands of the task. So you answer what is asked. It's coherent and well-developed, so it has a very good logic, and I will give you all the structures that you need in order for you to have a very coherent and well-developed answer. Minor difficulties with pronunciation or intonation do not affect overall intelligibility. So you see, if you have any accent or some problems with pronunciation or your intonation is weird, it's all right as long as they are easily able to understand you. It is well-paced and clear, so you're not speaking too fast or too slow, it's just well-paced and it's all understandable. Good control of grammar and vocabulary, so even if you do some mistakes, it's all right, but as long as it's easy to understand you. Minor systematic errors are noticeable but do not obscure meaning. So even though you can have some of little mistakes, they should be really minor mistakes. Okay, so these are the scoring standards for the ideal answer to question number 1 and 2. What about the rest of the questions? So here are the scoring standards for all the rest of the questions. Fulfills the demands of the task with minor lapses in completeness. So even if you miss some information, all those losses are minor. Clear and fluid speech, so you're able to speak fluently. Minor difficulties with pronunciation or intonation do not affect overall intelligibility. So even though you have an accent or your intonation is weird, as long as it's easy to understand you, it's all right. Pace may vary at times as the speaker attempts to recall information. So it's all right if you slow down for a little bit because you're trying to remember what you're going to say next. It's okay, and they're not going to give you a lower score because of that. Minor or systematic grammar or vocabulary errors are noticeable but do not obscure meaning. So it's okay if there are some little mistakes as long as they're little. Well-developed and coherent. And of course, I will give you all the cliches and all the structures that will help you to have a really well-developed and coherent response. So these were the scoring standards for your speaking tasks. And in the next lectures, we'll talk about each one of your tasks. Thanks for watching.